I'll watch some TV. It'll help me to relax.
Welcome back to the Ren and Stimpy recap. Last week we talked about magical golden singing cheeses, and today we are taking a look at A Hard Day's Luck.
And with these hands, I hold the fate of millions.
So this one doesn't start with the title card, but instead the ending of the secret headquarters segment, making this episode a secret cartoon. Then we get the title card, which is pretty good. It matches the vibe of the original Scotsman episode card. It also kind of looks like the one from Man's Best Friend. So, I don't know why, but it really looks like it. It also has lyrics, which I think is the second time that the title card has lyrics, if I'm not mistaken. So this is obviously a Scotsman episode, and I got no problem with this since I really liked Haggis McHaggis in his first appearance last season. All I remember is that this one has something to do with a leprechaun, like the one on the title card, and that Ren and Stimpy are barely in this one. What a peaceful opening. The Scotsman pulls out a magnifying glass and checks his hairline. It's not looking too good. And he is sad about being bald.
Oh, Myron!
Yes, Mr. Haggis.
My run is huge. I like the continuity of him returning here as well, but that's kind of praising the show for doing the bare minimum. Haggis asks Myron to help him with his hair, and they do this.
Oh?
I see someone's a fan of The Cat Who Laid the Golden Hairball. I'm not. He tapes it on his head and it doesn't look that bad, but it falls off and Haggis gets sad again.
Here is your breakfast, Mr. Haggis. It is your favorite.
Oh boy!
So he fills his bowl with kind of everything. There is an eye in there, but Haggis is more interested in this thing.
Magic leprechaun.
Just like in House of Next Tuesday, all you gotta do is add water. So, of course, Myron spits on it, which is becoming a common thing in this show now.
Top of the morning, laddies. Hey.
This feels straight out of a log ad. Bro even has the design from those ads. The leprechaun is impressed by the Scotsman's palace, which, yeah, it's pretty fire.
It's a foreigner! Throw him out at once!
Nah, that's actually really funny. The reaction is already great, but him calling the most Scottish thing ever a foreigner while being Scottish is just gold.
Wait! But I'm a magic leprechaun! I can grant you anything you wish!
Were these Stimpysauruses in the water thing? Great to see them return. The Scotsman is of course in need of a wish and grabs his bald ass head.
Give me a flowing mane of my own locks, right now!
The leprechaun says he'll grant Haggis' wish, but only if he first passes a test and is man enough, which I don't think is how wishes work.
You've got yourself a deal!
Poor Myron, always getting abused. The Scotsman and the leprechaun falls into the water, but funnily enough, the scene just transitions. Guess the Stimpysauruses weren't hungry today.
And now for the first test, Baldy.
Ah, right. Spoke too soon. The leprechaun asks Haggis if he can keep his temper, and Haggis pretends like he doesn't have like the worst temper in the show after George.
What temper?
Ah, yeah, he is always mad.
The leprechaun says that if Haggis fails the test, Myron is his. That's a terrible deal, like you're supposed to just grant wishes, not trade a person for some hair. But Haggis goes along with it.
Click. Once upon a time.
The leprechaun starts telling a story about the Scotsman, which is essentially just roasting him. He pulls out one of his hairs, and then we get this interesting sequence.
Moon. Where he was very happy.
Well, that's certainly something. It's very realistic and made me scratch my eye, which is not a good thing, but I guess it's effective. Then he pulls out his other hair and puts it into his mouth, which is also gross.
And it was a very comfy home indeed. And then finally...
Now this little demon takes a bottle full of ear mites and sticks it into the Scotsman's ear, which gets bro to look like this. Really cursed.
He lived oh yeah! He lived happily ever...
It's actually not the torture that gets Haggis to finally snap, but Myron just saying some dumb stuff. He started saying the One Nation Under God thing, I don't know what it's called, but he messes it up anyway.
Oh, pain! That hurt, I think. Do it again! More.
Haggis beats up Myron and then gets sad when he realizes that he now has to hand him over to the leprechaun. We cut, and then the leprechaun says that Haggis gets another chance. This time it's a test of generosity, and if Haggis loses this time, he has to give him everything he owns.
Help! Oh, help me! Help, please!
The leprechaun is looking extra cute as Haggis is starting to panic just from having to give this poor oyster, or clam, some money for the bus. He pulls out the chain that has half a cent stuck to it. That reminded me of SpongeBob when Patrick had... Yeah, I'm sorry.
What am I doing?
Haggis goes the other route and just throws the clam away, who pops out of his shell and his boxers and then laughs embarrassed. Haggis starts laughing but then realizes he messed up.
Whelp, you got one last chance to win your wish.
Yo, Haggis was rich. I guess his show really was popular. And now I wonder, this episode gotta take place before Hard Time for Haggis, right? Because he got thrown out of his house in that one. But maybe he got it back later. But the ending scene made it seem like none of them had the castle at the end of Hard Time for Haggis.
A test of courage.
Courage! Throw me to the lions! I'll slay any dragons!
The leprechaun wants Haggis to prove that he is not afraid of the dark. So now he is gonna get sunken down into this well. Yo, it's just like in SpongeBob.
On there, you win. But if you lose, Shillelagh is mine.
If he fails this test, he loses his healing stick thing. Cane. I feel like I'm getting worse at English by making these videos. Anyway, that's what he is playing for now.
Courage.
Haggis starts acting tough, but then he gets darker. Like, bro, you really thought the test of being afraid of the dark was gonna revolve around you sitting in some slightly dim lights?
Here, have another egg.
Well, at least there's no snakes.
The leprechaun and Myron starts rolling dice, which sounds like a rattling snake. This part of the episode has crazy potential. I'm really liking the vibe down here in the well.
Well, then, certainly there are no monsters.
Myron starts burping, which scares the life out of Haggis, who looks like this. For some reason this kind of scared me, like it's scaring me a little bit right now, looking at. Yo, these designs are fire. We need a new space episode with alien monsters. I know it's not gonna happen, I remember the coming 2 episodes at least a bit, but it would have been great.
Hey, buddy. Got a light?
Haggis skeleton runs up with the rest of him following. Bro is traumatized, rightfully so. The leprechaun shows us that he was just about to make it as well.
Come on.
Oh no, not my shillelagh.
Why haven't you tried to just beat him up? Like, I would think that'd be Haggis' first thought when he lost all his stuff to this guy, but he just starts crying instead.
Alright! Shut up!
The leprechaun decides to just let Haggis win because he was being annoying. He gives Haggis this little gross ass bean that he eats, and this happens. Well, it's hair at least. The Scotsman starts laughing and jumps away towards the sun and just explodes, which is how the episode ends. So this one is weird. It's the first episode without Ren and Stimpy in it at all. And while I do appreciate them using some of their other characters without having to shoehorn in the two, it's still not a great episode. Haggis isn't really the problem here. Matter of fact, I think he could have been replaced with Ren and Myron with Stimpy, and the episode would have played like very similar. Not being angry, being generous and being brave are things that I can easily see Ren struggle with. Matter of fact, it's pretty similar to Jiminy Lummox in last season, where Ren had to control his anger. But while I like Haggis, I still feel like watching Ren do all this would have just been more entertaining. The gross out doesn't help, it's just kind of there and wasn't funny or anything to me. It's not the worst we have seen in the show, matter of fact it's pretty tame compared to what we have seen so far in this show, but it's just not entertaining to watch. The whole first test is just kind of wasted and is a worse version of a much better episode. Then the generosity test is okay, but that's about it honestly. Now this is made up for by the courage test, because that one is by far the one I enjoyed the most. The whole well scene is excellent and I like everything about it. Haggis' expressions are probably the best expressions I have seen in the show that aren't from Ren and Stimpy. The tone was set so well that it even freaked me out a little bit with the creepypasta-esque face. Then I really liked the monster design and what Haggis saw that made him fail the test. That scene carried the episode hard, but it can only take the episode so far. Fun fact. The whole test of generosity scene is edited out of the DVD release, which I don't know if it would make the episode better, but it would make it shorter for sure. I honestly don't know why that scene would be the one to censor though, like that doesn't make much sense to me. All in all, a very mixed episode. Join me next week where we're taking a look at I Love Chicken.
Goodbye, folks.